What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Brian, living, jeeping, and adventuring. Working on this Liberty behind me. I have got to get this thing done. I got to get it done by next month. I keep saying that, but I really want to wheel this thing in September. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but in this video, I'm going to finish up with my wheels. I've got one wheel done. I'll show you that here in a second, and I'm going to try and get the transfer case and transmission cross members built. I'm at least going to get one built. That way I can stop supporting everything with the jack and use my jacks for other things that I need, which is everything usually. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get my wheels built and get some cross members built and get this thing sitting on its own weight, hopefully for the very last time. Stay tuned. Alright, so the other day when I built the first wheel, it had a lot of fumes coming off of it. Like a lot. Kind of reminds me of like galvanized, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're galvanized on these wheels or not, but I didn't feel too great afterwards. So today I'm gonna wear face mask. Maybe that'll kind of cut down on it, and I'm also gonna turn the fan on to get all the fumes going that way. So hopefully I don't run into that again. That was terrible. If you haven't watched the video that I put out a couple weeks ago, I'm recentering these wheels, and I made this little tool. It's not really a tool, it's just a bolt and a nut that's kind of welded together. So, but that is my back spacing. I think it's 4 3/4. It's about 4 3/4 back spacing, give or take, just a smidge. But I'm setting this up on all of the spokes, and as long as the straight edge clears over top of it, just barely rubs it, I know it's in the same spot as the first wheel that I've done. So it does take some time. Pretty good. What I'll do now is I'll go ahead and just put a tack in the center of each one of these spokes. That way I know this one's not going to move, and I'll do the same to this wheel and then to the very last wheel. And then once I get them all tacked, I'll go ahead and final weld everything on the back side and everything on the front side. And then we'll set these to the side over there and then let them cool and start working on the rings, the rock rings. Woo. Those are kind of tedious. You gotta line those up, but you'll see. So we'll get this one tacked and get the rest of these done. Good morning. It's the next day. I did not get done everything I wanted to last night, but I got a lot of it done. I got The back half of the wheels recentered. I got all that welded up, and they are outside they're outside painted right now, just drying. This morning, I'm gonna do all the rock rings and try and get these tires mounted. I do have one mounted. You'll see that here in just a second. But I'm gonna get these welded up and start mounting some tires, and then start hopefully get on this crossmember. I want that crossmember done tonight. So it's early in the morning. It's only about 10 o'clock. I do have a couple errands to run later, but I'll be able to knock these wheels out for sure and get that crossmember done later, hopefully. So enough jolly jacket. It's time to work. Time to do some more welding. The old Vulcan welder last night was kind of struggling. It wasn't really struggling, but it was definitely getting worked. So it did a great job. So we're gonna make it work some more. Let's go. So wheels are finished. All the recenters are welded in. They're painted. The rock rings have been welded onto the outer part of the rim. They've been cleaned up and painted. So now, the next step is grabbing the tires and putting the run flat rings in them. I decided I'm just going to go with the run flats. I'm not going to get the PVC inserts. Mainly because I'm just trying to save on cost, and these are going to work. I mean, I'm not going to be driving this thing on the road, so I'm not too worried about how they're going to balance. But the tires are Pitbull rockers. They're a little bit older, but they're pretty wide, pretty tall. 39.5 by 16.5 by 16.5. The one that's mounted here behind me, it actually measures out to about 37.5 inches with the air in it. So yeah, now I just got to get one of these run flat rings to collapse down and actually put it in the tire. So here is the run flat ring. Now it's important to put these in the right way. I don't know if you can see it, but it has these grooves right here inside of the ring, and you have to line this up with your valve stem. If you don't line that up with your valve stem, you're not going to be able to air these tires up. So we have to press it, flop it in there, and then once we start putting the rim together, that's when we have to line up this with the valve stem. So how do I compress this, you might ask? Well, it's not easy. I mean, it's not hard. It's more terrifying than anything. It is terrifying to do this. It really is. I did one and I didn't get hurt, so that's a plus. I got scared, but I didn't get hurt. So what you do is you take a ratchet strap. This is how I did it. I don't know if you've done it. Tell me a better way, but this is how I did it. Just wrapped the strap around it like so, and then brought this side around and hooked it kind of like that, and then pulled all my slack out, pulled it to where the metal clip or metal J-hook was kind of on the outside of it. It's kind of being a pain in the butt. There we go. There we go, that's better. Okay, so just hook it like that, and then you just start ratcheting the crap out of it. Really, I need to bring it around some more. There we go. Then you start cranking away. Now when I did this before, I had to put it on the ground and use a pry bar to help ratchet it, because I was terrified. I was so scared to do it. I was scared the strap was going to break. I was scared the ratchet itself was going to break. And this ratchet is kind of janky anyway, so it's possible it could break. I'm not going to say it will. I'm not going to say it won't. But it has to go in so far. Remember, it's only a 16.5-inch bead, 16.5-inch tire. So you have to squish it down to where, I don't know, 17, 18 inches, probably 19 inches maybe. Just enough to slam it in there. Shoot. We'll go ratchet some more. Yes. Hopefully this thing don't come apart. So if it does, I'm gonna get injured. I can't get injured. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Okay. Let's see here. I think it's gonna need some more. I think it's gonna need some more. The measurements are not right. Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe that's enough. I don't know. Let's get some lubricant. But the one thing I have is PV glass, so hopefully this works. I don't know if it's gonna. I know it doesn't really matter which way the tire goes, but I want the valve stems on a certain side. So and that is right here. I want my valve stems on that side of the tire, so I have to put it in there a certain way, which is this way. Hopefully it works. I've got faith in it. Okay. It was way closer on the other side. There we go. Oh, now it's going. Kinda. That's so terrifying. Okay. Let's see what we got. Okay. Yeah. Pull the bead out a little bit. Oh man. Okay. So the bead is stuck on the big lip of the rock ring. Which, not a big deal. Just got to pop it over it. Now, for those of you that are watching that have done these before, only maybe a few, you know that they really are a pain in the butt to do. Those of you that have done sets of them probably don't think they're as bad. There we go. It's almost in. Okay. It's almost there. All right, rock rings in. Not rock ring. Apologies. Woo! Run flat ring is in. All right, now this is the sketchy part. So, you take that, you kind of center it up, then you take your strap and I don't know, some people use their foot. I'm kind of a chicken, I don't want to do that, so I just use a long pipe. And you just slap it, and it releases the tension, and it's in there. Now all you gotta do is unhook it, pull it out. There we go. One down, two more to go. All right. Man, I'm not going to put you through all that again and again. So, we'll be back. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, so all the run flat rings are in. The other two, I don't know, they didn't really give me too much trouble. I got those done in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes altogether for both of them, so it wasn't too bad. But when you're going to the next step, which is installing the wheels, the way I do it is I'll take it and put it valve stem side down and center up the run flat ring in the tire best you can. Oh boy, it's going to give me a fit now that I said it went easy a little bit ago. That's about right though. That's how it usually works anyway. That's how my luck works, I should say. There we go. Alright. There we go. Now we're pretty centered. Alright, now you look. So your valve stem notch is going to be on the ground side. So you just find one of them. It don't really matter which one. Find one of them, remember where it's at. That way you grab your rim. Well, kind of getting ahead of myself. Actually, no, I'm really not. So, take your wheel, and then you're going to want to grab one of your rock rings. Try not to get it dirty, because they are kind of clean and beautiful right now. Grab the rock ring, and on your bottom side of your wheel there's an extra hole. I guess it's for like water drain and stuff. Well, on your rock ring side you're going to have that extra hole as well. So just line all that up and then mark where your valve stem is on your wheel so you know. On top. There's chalk right there. Alright. So your valve stem is going to be here. You just want kind of a rough mark of where it's at. That way, when you put your bottom side of your wheel on, you can line it up. You know it's going to be right. There you go, right there. And the reason I say mark it first, line it up like that, is when you go to flip this over to put your rock ring on, if it's not lined up with that valve stem, you just try to put it on any way you want, probably not going to line up for one. And for two, those two drain holes aren't going to line up. So you want everything to line up with each other. That way you know it's right. So now that you got your valve stem marked, you know where it's at and you know where it is on your wheel, you can line it up and drop it down in there. Get you everything lined back up on the wheels. Run to the side. Just when I thought it was gonna go, it ain't gonna go. There we go. Now we're good. Oh. Line it up best you can. Remember where it's at. Ugh. And drop this bad boy in place. Alright, there we go. Just like that. Now we flip it over, put the gasket on, and put the rock ring on. Where's my bucket? You're definitely going to want a bucket for this part. Man, these wheels, all said and done, are probably going to weigh like 150 daggone pounds. I don't know why I decided to do it like this, but whatever. No. Oh, there we go. Ugh. Now, I can put the rock ring on, well, the gasket, and then the rock ring. Now that you've got your wheel in, you can take the big old gasket here. A lot of people get new ones. I mean, you can. These are the ones that came out. They're not tore up at all. They're actually in very, very good shape still. So I'm going to go ahead and reuse them. And hopefully I don't have any problems. This one over here, I cleaned that whole run flat up. I got all the grease and all that stuff off of it. And I probably shouldn't have, because it actually went together a lot easier, a lot quicker. So I probably should have just left it. All right, so you got your rock ring. Now we're going to have to put the valve stem in it. And these aren't hard to put in. You just have to kind of fish it in there into the hole, get it lined up, and bolt it down. These are a 2-piece stem, so you will have to tighten up the mounting nut on the back side, but you're also going to have to tighten up on the front side as well. If you don't, they will leak. Alright, there we go. Hopefully that's a good enough spot where I can put air to this bad boy. We'll find out pretty soon. Got the rock ring all the way down, mostly into place. Now we gotta get all 12 of these nuts that hold all this together back in place. Alright, so it's been a few days since I've been out here. I'm trying to remember where I left off, but I think I'm ready to start building these cross members. Got a design in mind for one of them, but I am going to have to do 2 of them. One for the transmission and one for the transfer cases. So I've got the one for the transmission kind of in mind already. So I'm going to take some final measurements, kind of get some metal cut, and then I'll mock everything up and kind of show you what's in my mind anyway. So, and then we'll try and figure out one for the transfer case. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do there yet, but we'll get it figured out. So let's get back to work. Kind of made some promises to have this thing at a certain place at a certain time, so I got to get busy. I got to get this thing done. So let's get to work. All right, so this is kind of what I got going on right here. Pretty simple cross member. It's gonna sit in the Jeep, kind of like that. Kind of heavy. Basically, this is the passenger side. This is the driver's side, and it's gonna sit up in between the 2 frame rails. And it's going to tie everything in together. It's going to bolt here and here, here and here. These little tabs are more for installation purposes. I am going to probably keep them on there. This is a little bit heavy. Kind of get it up in there at an angle, and it sets on these tabs. Makes it a little bit easier to manage. And this right here, that is the actual transmission mount. I've got the mount already on the transmission with some tabs. It's more or less like that, and it's going to sit in here like this. So once it's down flat, transmission mount itself is going to sit right there on it, and I'll end up, once it's fully installed and the weight and everything's on it, I will tack these tabs in place that's attached to the transmission already, and should be pretty solid. And the plan for the transfer case, I'm going to come off the back side and make some kind of a mount to the transfer case, because I don't want just the transmission mounted. I have to have something on the transfer case as well. I don't want it to fall off or break or get too much pressure or too much torque on it and end up twisting apart or something like that. So I'm going to build something off the back side going up to the transfer case, but I wanted to get the transmission side mounted first. That way I can put everything down at right height where it's supposed to be, or get everything in line as far as engine, transmission, transfer case, and all that stuff. So It's taken me a little bit of time to build it, but it should be pretty simple to install and take out if I ever need to take transfer case and stuff out. So I'm going to get this all welded up and get this installed. I probably won't install it today. I'll let it cool and then I'll paint it. Then I'll get up in there and mark where my mounting holes are supposed to be, get those drilled and tapped, and then slide this up in place, bolt it all down, and those reps should be good. Progress. That's what we're talking about. Cross member's done. I kind of showed you a rough design of how it's supposed to work. Well, I've got it installed, and it's going to be. I made it to where it's, everything on the bottom side is going to be completely flat. That way I can put a belly pan on it or a skid plate, and hopefully not get hung up on anything and slide over rocks and stuff a little bit easier. But let's check this thing out. It's pretty cool. Oh, it's dark in here. I need a light. Oh, I about fell down. That's my transmission mount right there. Man, it's kind of hard to see, ain't it? Alright, so this here is the transmission mount. It's bolted to the transmission. I'm missing a bolt, but I'll find one. It's sitting on this tab right here off of the cross member. I don't have any supports here yet, but I will have some. Mainly because I don't know how strong this would actually be holding the weight of everything up. So I'm going to put some tabs here and strengthen that up. These tabs here are going to be welded on to there. So it should be pretty stout once it's done, and it should hold the weight of the transmission and everything up, and should be pretty solid. Now the other side, as far as something for the transfer case, I haven't quite figured that out yet. I do not know what I'm going to do, but I am going to build something off the back of this to help support it. I'm just not entirely sure what yet, but I'll figure that out, and as soon as I do, you'll see it. And I know what some of you guys are thinking, because I've already gotten about 100 different comments on it. Maybe not necessarily on YouTube or on social media, but everybody I've seen over the last couple weeks. Yes, everything on this thing is overkill. Rock sliders are overkill. Frames overkill. Cross members overkill. Everything is. But it's because I don't want it to break. I only want to build this thing once, and I want it to be as strong as it can be. And I want the weight down low. So the more frame or cross member or plate I can put on the bottom side lowers that center of gravity even more, which is what I want. So I want this thing to be low, not too extremely heavy. I don't want it to be 6,000 or 7,000 pounds, but I do want it to be heavy enough to where my center of gravity is low. So that's kind of a little explanation. But that being said, I need to get this welder fired up and rolled over there so I can start tacking those transmission mounts in place. Then I can pull everything back out, weld everything solid, put those tabs on, and then I can start designing something for the transfer case. It's coming along. Oh, and I got drive shafts. Yeah, I got drive shafts back there. So I gotta build those. I'm trying to get those done today too. We'll see. I don't know if I can, but let's go. Let's go! Oh, okay, so transfer case and everything's mounted. The front mount is in. The cross member's done. Everything's done. I'll show you what I did here. And I may have screwed myself. I may not have thought too far enough ahead, but we'll see. Okay, so cross member is all the way in, mounted. All that's fine. The back side for the transfer cases, all of that is mounted. I made a custom mount here. It goes off of the cross member into a bushing in there, and I made a plate to come up and actually bolt it to the transfer case here. It's on the back side there, so it's nice and sturdy. The drive angle on the rear does not look atrocious. It does not look great, but it could be worse. But I did leave the transfer case and everything up a little higher than factory, mainly because I wanted just a complete, you know, flat belly pan all through here. So the next issue I'm having is the drive shaft clearance here. It's not touching yet, but I'm also not flexed at all. So I don't think this is going to be too big a deal. I think I'm just going to notch it here, make a little notch for that drive shaft to kind of go down in, and then plate the inside of it kind of like a cup. The other bigger issue is here. This drive shaft is hitting my frame. I think I finally figured out why people don't 4-link this, because this is all the way in the way. It's not actually hitting the link mount right here, it's hitting right here. So either one, I'm gonna have to do a smaller drive shaft, or two, do something with this. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. So I do have some 2-inch DOM left over. I'm kind of running out of it, but I do have some of that left over. I may be able to completely redo that drive shaft. I don't really want to because I just built it, and it is very strong and very straight. But I might, I don't know, I might have to, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. I'm gonna do some outside the box thinking here. I did have a friend of mine show me a trick he did on his upper link. He kind of made his upper link a little bit smaller in the midsection. I don't really know if I want to do it to a drive shaft, but I might have to, because it doesn't need much clearance there to work. So I don't know if I don't know, that might be what I have to do, but I'm determined to keep this thing 4-linked. I do not want to have a track bar or anything, so I'm gonna do some thinking on it. In the meantime, I'm gonna work on the rear drive shaft, and I'll let you know what I decide to do shortly. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so I don't know if I pointed it out or not, but I was having some issues here with the clearance. The drive shaft was hitting the cross member, so I had to do something. So what I did was I just notched it, and I put a plate on the inside, kind of sealed it all back up, and now the drive shaft is pretty much at full droop, and I don't have any issues rubbing anywhere. So I don't think I'm gonna get as much travel out of the front of this as I thought, only because I'm having a lot of clearancing issues. The drive shaft clearancing on the yoke for the transfer case, the cross member, the frame up here. So I had to kind of think outside the box on my drive shaft. I didn't want to build it this way, but I didn't have a choice. Yeah, but other than that, everything's going pretty good. So that is kind of what I did with the drive shaft. I know it's not ideal, and I know A lot of people are going to say that this is going to vibrate and shake and all that stuff, but at high speeds this drive shaft will not be spinning, so I'm not too concerned with that. As long as it holds and it's strong, which it definitely is. This is 2-inch DOM, so it should be fairly strong, and it's sleeved all the way back to here somewhere and up this way, so it should be fine. I am gonna have to go and maybe just kind of shave this down just a skosh, just to give myself a little bit more clearance, because once this drive shaft is at full stuff, it is get very close. It's within like 1/8 of an inch right here, so, and then it's getting close to this bolts up here too. That's why I had to build it the way I built it. But yeah, this thing's coming along. As you can see, I've gotten quite a bit done. I do have quite a bit left to do, but got it all wrote down. Let me kind of show you what I have left here. It's not really a lot, but it is. It's just a lot of little stuff. So let's see. So yeah, I got to get a new yoke, brake lines, button up the air ride, transfer case shifters, hydro assist, exhaust, radiator support. I got to put the interior in, button up the fuel lines, button up all the electrical, top off the fluids, clearance for the right rear tire, and do some sheet metal work if I have time. So most of that will get done. Some of it will not get done, but most of it will. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you watching this. Appreciate you hanging in there with me. Thank you for all the support, all the comments. Means the world to me. Keep a lookout for this Jeep being down in Tennessee in the next few weeks. Hopefully I make it there. I think I've got a pretty good feeling, so keep that in mind if you're down there. Hope to see you. Thanks again for watching this. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, do the membership thing, and again, appreciate all the support, guys. I can't tell you how much it means to me. So anyways, thank you guys, and see you in the next video.